evening, everybody, and welcome back to Simtrax Broadcasting. Patrick Morrison coming to you live here with the Bandit Racing League here on this fine Wednesday night for the Happy's 125. Currently, we're seeing David Lakey out there getting ready to get one of his warm-up laps ready to go. Got a few extra drivers that we pulled out of the catacombs out there will be joining us as well here tonight. One you may have recognized from previous seasons, about season 6 or season 7 out there. We'll see Josh Billiter out there, currently sitting in the 99 machine. He's going ahead and knocking down some of his laps. I also have a nice little surprise for you guys as well tonight. Joining alongside me tonight will be Nolan Gross. And normally out there racing out there in the O2, but he's going to be up here in the booth because he's got some extracurricular activities in his own personal racing career. Nolan, we are here at Kern Raceway. Drivers a little bit nervous out here tonight. Now, I've noticed during practice, cars look a little loose. Talk to me a little bit about what's happening out there.
So I haven't really been in practice for that long. I just got done working on, like you were saying, my racing activities for the night. But from what I see, there's a lot of people are struggling on corner exit to that middle to exit lane. So it's going to be really about keeping that right rear underneath you and trying not to burn up that right rear, which is what I'm going to think is going to happen tonight.
Right. Curtis Yancey and Matt Crockett currently hitting 1 and 2. And you want to talk about pretty wild. Normally, we see the in-and-out machine dealing, really shuffling back there outside the top 10. But boy, he's got this thing on a rail here, definitely moving very quickly. As I say that, David Lakey outplaces him there and goes ahead and knocks down a second spot. Currently, Matt Crockett finishing up with his time, certain third. We are still waiting to see whether or not everybody's going to be able to undo that time. Eddie Haggy finally getting back out there after unfortunately being out for a race. Speaking about for a race, yep, our commanding leader that we saw go 5 for 5 out there, Nick Nickerson, does not appear to be out here on the track. Jonathan Platt is, which is going to be a huge shift here for our points, seeing that Nickerson just got hold of the lead here for the past few races in the points chase, but that is going to be undone here tonight. We'll pull up the points here. You know what? Yeah, we'll go ahead and do it right now as we're getting a few things done. Nickerson only leading by about 25 points out there. That's going to be pretty tough beating over top of Jonathan Platt if he can hang in there. I'm not sure. We'll check Nickerson on his provisionals out there, and we'll keep you guys apprised coming to the next race. Kevin Foster doing pretty well out there. No wins yet, but we are definitely staying consistent. A little toss back there, Nolan, to Jonathan Osborne. Jonathan Osborne had the consistency and was able to make tons of playoffs just by showing up and racing.
Yeah, Osborne was honestly one of my favorite guys to race against back in when we were running, I think, was it the trucks or Xfinity cars before we went on that hiatus. He was pretty consistent and kind of made me a little mad, too, because I'd have these really good days and have the really bad days as well. But he's a good guy, so we'll see how he's able to play out tonight.
All right, top 20 drivers on your screen currently here as qualifying has about another minute left to go here. Brandon Action Jackson out there in the 91, currently holding in 4th. We'll see if he can hang in there and possibly gain one more position. I don't think he's going to have enough speed to do any more than what he's got out there, so that may go ahead and solidify him for at least a top 5 start out there. Boy, there it is. Bang! Kevin Foster on that last run. Boy, full send it there, and it goes ahead and eats the wall from turn 1 and 2. Pretty tough out there for Kevin Foster. Honestly, he's gotten rid of that magnet that keeps destroying his car out there. And definitely another driver as well. I believe I've got another driver, the number 17. I believe that is Deontay Rader out there, I believe. We'll take my word for it, right?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to try to mispronounce his name. But one thing about Jonathan Platt is that he's having some technical issues with his steering wheel. So he is steering with a joystick tonight. So we'll see how he's able to clear that up and maybe still salvage some extra points to try to either pass Nick in points or at least get closer to him.
Whoa. So not only Jonathan Platt, but I believe there was also, we were dealing with Bob Berry. Berry's having some trouble with some pedals out there. I know he's gotten a new equipment, just trying to get everybody to marry up and do the right thing. and not end up getting mixed up out there. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this race is going to consist of here tonight with this 125 lap race for the Half Piece 125. 100% fuel limit out there. 3 sets of tires will be down there in the pit. They may have a few extras. We'll see if we can hold that off to the side. They may have gotten that squared away. They've modified these setups out here to make sure it's nice and raceable and under control for everybody out there, and one fast repair. Dalton Kilroy doing his best up there as RC, as he's been on iRacing just about every single day this week. He's going to be doing his best from the catbird seat, sitting up top watching down, but 74 degrees on the track. A little bit cool out there. It may be causing a little bit of trouble early in this race to get these tires to actually start getting attached to the track before they start slipping and sliding around out there.
Yeah, I think that's what might be causing a lot of these drivers' issues coming out of the corners. Those early laps on those cold tires, you just don't have the grip underneath you. But I think once these tires start getting grip underneath them, they're going to see a lot of tight, close racing here, like we saw here with the Arkham and Art Series, West Series here in real life. So we'll see how these guys are able to run here tonight.
All right. Definitely, as these drivers get lined up out here, they're working currently on their drivers meeting out there to kind of narrow down what problems we're going to be running into tonight, and if anybody is going to be in any trouble out there. Now, somebody I would like to see if we can grab a hold of is a possible RC that we've had before out here, and we've had her in the booth a couple of times. Nicole Crazel, you out there and got a copy on me?
Yep, I have, yeah.
All right. Glad to see you back out here. You're starting to gain here in the points, showing up and racing. How's it feel out here with the Bandit Racing League?
It feels pretty good to be back racing.
Well, I was going to say, back racing. I wanted you to make sure you put some emphasis on that. The race control is not easy from the top of the chart out there. It's very difficult for you to have your eyes everywhere. I knew you and Bradley Shin did a lot of it, but talk to me about when we're behind the steering wheel out there. You know, these guys are getting pretty tough out there. It's hard to keep this car, on the track. And how do the late models feel to you?
Very loose tonight. And like I said, I've been gone for like 7 weeks, so this is like my 3rd week back maybe. So didn't have much time to practice in these cars when I got back.
All right, well, I noticed a little bit last week, Nicole. You getting beat and banged around out there a little bit. I think spun around once, unfortunately. These guys just racing you a little harder than everybody else out there, or is this car just not very friendly for you?
It's not very friendly for me, and yeah, I think they're racing me normally like everybody else. I just want to be like one of everybody else. I don't want them to take it easy on me either, because I'm still trying to learn and still trying to race as hard as I can too. So.
Well, with a car that says Lady Chaos Racing on the hood, that's going to be pretty tough to kind of side away from. I'd expect to get around your car and see all sorts of trouble. So go ahead and talk to me about Lady Chaos Racing and how the number 6 is going to perform here tonight, and how confident you're feeling.
Not very comfortable at all. Like I said, tonight I just bought the track for this one, so I wasn't prepared for it. Usually I try to get in here on Tuesday nights, but last night was not a good night for me, so hopefully tonight I stay out of trouble and at least do pretty good.
All right, Nicole. Hopefully you can find a driver out there to and maybe you can follow along with out there. I've seen even the guys out here by the track, and then but 20 minutes later they're up running in the top 5. So hopefully I'll let you get to it here during the warm-up and knock down a few more laps. See if you can follow somebody out there and figure out this track. The banking should be super helpful out here tonight, but I don't know if that track temperature is going to work for you. So good luck out there, Nicole.
All right, thanks.
All right. Nicole definitely seems really nervous there, and I'm hoping she's going to be able to hang on there. Maybe we can find somebody who's not a race control driver, maybe Jason Greenwell. Nicole is dealing with tons of trouble out there. Jason, get you here in the booth here, buddy. How is the race going out there for you? Is the track even feeling comparable to be a racing surface, or is this just going to be an ice skating rink?
Oh, she's pretty slippy. Haven't run a whole lot of laps here at this one, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Seems like the right rear is going to play havoc on you if you get it a little hot. So yeah, still trying to figure it out. The bottom's really tempting, but going down there gets really slippery really quick. So I'd be watching for that, people trying to pass down there and then kind of losing the rear a little bit. it should be a fun one. Hopefully we can settle into a bit of a groove and kind of make our way around here in just a little bit. But it's going to be interesting for sure.
All right. Your drivers out there joining along with you. Jonathan Platt's running on a joystick issue, possibly, and we've got Bob Berry with possibly some pedal problems. You know, he kind of teetering on the edge out here. How safe is it out there on the track running with these guys, the guys out there in the pack?
Oh, well, I mean, Platt, it goes without saying, he's pretty good. He'll stay out of trouble pretty good, but it's going to be dangerous. Doesn't matter where you're at out here, especially when it's slippy like this. We got a good number of cars. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of luck, a lot of positioning, and yeah, just trying to stay out of trouble.
Well, then I'll poke the bear a little bit. Jason, you've had some pretty decent consistency out here, but some nights we've been the bowling ball. How with you and your team, how are you guys looking to see if you can sift your way through the ruckus out here? Do you expect cautions at the very beginning?
Yeah, I mean, I think there'll probably be some cautions. They might come in spurts, cautions breed cautions, as they say. Just got to try to make sure that we can stay ahead of most of the trouble. Eddie and I will be out there trying to, just stay out in front of it all. I think position's going to be pretty important. Otherwise, you just kind of be in the grinder back there if we do end up with some cautions. So,
all right.
Yeah, I'm just going to try to stay out of trouble, keep my nose clean.
I would say top 5 is probably the safest spot, but with Action Jackson in here, there's no telling anymore.
Oh, there's no safe spot with Mr. Jackson out there. Good to see him.
All right, Jason. Good luck to you out there, buddy.
All right, thanks much, Patrick.
All right, Nolan. Who do you want to talk to tonight here, buddy? We got a couple more minutes left.
Let's pull up Justin Zemecki up here. See how he's feeling.
Zemecki, that guy. Oh, a little part-timer. All right. And we're catching on. Looks like Justin Zemecki is caught up with Nolan Gross here. The 0-2 meets the 0-3. Let her rip.
Justin, how you feeling? But I know we're having a lot of... It looks like you're struggling a little bit here on corner eggs. You mind... sorry, my brain's going faster than my mouth right now. You mind discussing how you're going to deal with the tire wear issues that you might experience on those right rear tire?
I'm not seeing too many issues with tire wear just yet. I haven't had a long enough run. But it's a little loose on corner exit, but I think we'll handle it. I'm not too worried.
All right. So going into Kern County, as far as I know, this is one of your first races here. How are you feeling just about the track itself? How do you think it's going to race tonight?
I've done a few good races in it, and it's a pretty good track. I like the track. It's fast, it's tight racing. But it can also get pretty spread out if we get a longer run, so I think it'll go pretty well.
Is there anyone else you want to thank here tonight, or are you just here to have some fun?
I'm here to have some fun.
All right, man. You have a good one.
So easy. Justin tries to keep it short and sweet.
He tries it, that's for sure.
I was like, boy, when you're racing with him, that's gonna be pretty sketchy out there. Let's get the wild man out here. We got the 99 machine. Let's see. Brandon Jackson, you alive?
Oh God, what do y'all want?
Yep, here we go. Well, it's seeing that there may be a possibility we find you into this exact same spot sitting down here in pit road. Talk to me about this race. How confident you feeling?
Man, we unloaded and we got disqualified during tech. So we had to kind of take some lead and put it back in the car. We were too light.
Too light.
We may have to leave the car. Anyway, we made it through tech finally. And they let us qualify, and we got our pit selection, so we're good. But never been here before. This will be the first race. I'm kind of intrigued to see how it goes. I don't really know what to expect, to be honest. I've been gone for a while.
All right. A couple of drivers we've interviewed here so far have kind of circled that you may be in the not last but second to last spot to finish this race. What do you have to say to that?
Do they know who they're talking about? I mean, God, look at me. I'm the GOAT. God. I've finished second more times than I finished this race. I mean, come on. Nah, if they want to touch my race car, just know I have a bumper too, and she likes to be used as Kevin Foster. No, who did I move at Thompson? I can't remember. I gave the bumper to somebody. Gave the bumper to somebody, and he went a long way into the wall.
Mr. Lacey did not enjoy that on turn number 3. Yeah. Yes. And we have yet to see Mr. Lacey since. So, so right now, Nickerson would probably float something out here recommending that maybe you serve that up to the 43 machine here tonight and possibly save his points race.
Ooh, so tempting. So tempting. You
All right,
know,
Mr. Jackson.
I'm a part-time guy for a reason, though.
Yeah, there you go. That way it gives them a couple weeks to cool off before you return for some more.
There you go.
For some more ruckus. All right, buddy. Good luck to you out there. You got a top 5 start. I'm excited to see how you do.
Yes, sir. I'll see y'all at the end. You know I'll be interviewing.
Oh yeah, We'll be interviewing him maybe from the infield car care center. Let's see.
Oh, we'll see how it goes. It's always fun to talk to Jackson at the end, before, during, or after the race. It's always fun to talk to him.
Definitely the wild man. I'm so glad to see him back here. Unfortunately, I don't get to see that man as much as I would like to. But definitely got a feeling we'll be talking a good bit about him here tonight. So let's take a look at our starting grid here for tonight, which is going to be super exciting to see these guys get rocking here. Curtis Yancey and David Lakey. Wow, what a start there for Lakey right in the front. Looks like 937 Racing is already calling their shot out there in the chat out there with Hambone. Bob Berry will be starting third. Brandon Jackson in fourth. Moving on to Kevin Foster starting on the inside of row number 3 with Justin Zemecki to the outside. Moving on to find ourselves with Matt Crockett, who we had sitting there in the second, third position unqualifying, gets bumped down to 7th. He'll be starting on the inside. Jonathan Platt. It may be one of those things that you follow Platt. He's going to have a plow on front of him, moving his way up to the front. Jason Greenwell starts 9th. Eddie Hagge is 10th. Joshua Adams is in 11th. And Logan Murray out there in the lonely number 4. He'll be starting in the 12th position. Moving on to the final part of our field here. Looks like Josh Billiter sitting currently 13th. Bill Harkins 14th. Nicole Crazel 15th. And Victor Weaver in the 16th position. But I'm really excited to see with 17 drivers out there. I'm going to go ahead and say Mr. Rader's currently sitting in the 17th position. He'll be starting back in the 17 car. Oddly enough, is going to be working out for him. Hate to see a new driver starting all the way in the back. Dalton Kilroy, I guess, thought he had a chance at racing here tonight. We got enough drivers out there on the track. We're going to be ready to rock. Boy, I don't know about you here, Nolan, but this is going to be a rather sketchy race. Not only have we talked to one, but at least 2 to 3 drivers here haven't put any solid laps down here on this track.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I've never ran on the full layout here. I've been running a lot of practice laps for Legends cars here recently, trying to get my feet underneath with those. So we'll see how well the half mile can deal with the late models. I've seen them race in real life here in Flow. They run pretty clean racing, but it can also be pretty chaotic with, my understanding is pretty high speed in the mid corner. So if you get on that outside and the guy underneath you gets loose and smacks you, you can be sent up in the wall pretty quick.
Very, very easily. And you can already see David Lakey with a little bit of connection issues here. Definitely not where you want to see a car missing, because it is going to tighten up here really, really fast. Curtis Yancey getting ready to take us to the start here of this race. Stage break will be at lap number 60, and Curtis Yancey takes us away. Here we go.
Oh, they're peaking 3 wide, maybe going into turn 1 as they single file out for the first 2 rows, but they're 2 wide coming down the back straightaway.
Boy, definitely wild turn there for Brandon Jackson as he takes way wide. Looks like he's already trying to bite off more than he can chew. Already one shot away, gets Bob Berry in the rearview mirror, but Bob gonna drop down to the bottom. Take a look, get real close to our blinker there of David Lakey, and Lakey now going to be seeing, might have to be pulling out the telescope here pretty soon as Curtis Yancey jumps out to a half second and now growing to 3/4 of a second lead.
A big gap there by the leader. And then they're side by side coming through turn 2. Bob Berry leading side by side down the back straightaway. A little squirrely there in the back as they maybe touch. Brandon Jackson poking his nose in, going through 3 and 4.
Wow, quick little slide there from Bob Berry. Able to pivot, though. Gets out in front of Lakey, and now Lakey under fire again. The 91 machine here of Brandon Jackson trying to make a move. Not too much time here to see if they can slide on through before the tires start setting in. And trying to get a good
high up the track. They're going through 3 and 4. Oh, they're spinning down the front straightaway.
Yep, Matt Crockett, first driver around here, caution is out. Looks like the 15 doesn't suffer too much damage. Oof, except right there. Matt Crockett gives a little lick to the wall there. First caution does come out. Who is that? Jay out there in the chat saying caution free? Joke's on you. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here, get a good quality look at what happens to Matt Crockett. Boy, talk about from 7th place to dead last here. Taking a look to the inside. Oh, Jason Greenwell.
And I can see it looks like Matt Crockett just maybe thought he was clear coming down, trying to get that run going down the curved front straightaway here, and just clipped the front nose of that 83 car.
Yep, pretty ugly shot here. I was going to say, it didn't look like Greenwell had made a mistake holding his line, but definitely coming down on the nose of that 83. So unfortunately, Matt Crockett moves back to 17th now. Little offset pitting for a couple of our drivers. One of them to note out there is Jonathan Platt coming down into pits. Unscheduled here. I don't know if there's trouble here since he is not on his normal racing setup here. So we'll see if Jonathan Platt remains in pit, which he does.
He might be starting parking. I know he was thinking about doing that tonight, but I'm not sure with how well he was running in that warm-up. I think he got 3rd in warm-up tonight, and there he goes. He starts rolling out of his pit box.
Yeah, might be changing something up there. Trying to square it away. I don't blame him. You know what I mean? If he's having to go outside of his norm, definitely want to be as safe as possible. If he sees cautions already in this, might be an idea just to hang back and let everybody just duke it out and attack later.
Oh, yeah.
Oof. Yuck. All right, so our new lineup starts with Curtis Yancey. Bob Berry shifts up a position as he overtakes David Lakey for the 2nd position. Brandon Jackson still holds on to 4th. And Eddie Hagge, boy, what a surge there. 5 positions up from 10th to 5th. Obviously, he's showing his qualifying time was a joke.
And then we got Kevin Foster here in 6th, and then Justin Zemecki and Logan Murray in 7th and 8th. Seeing my 2 drivers running pretty good up here. Logan making a pretty good jump here on the start. I think he was starting in the bottom to mid-teens. Seeing him come up is pretty good to see. And then we also got Jason Greenwell and Joshua L. Adams running at your top 10.
Yeah, not bad here. Logan Murray moving up 5 currently as well, I believe. So we start with Justin Zemecki there. I'd like to see teammates get together. Everybody feels a little more confident. When they got somebody they know they can race around out there, or at least the guy can say, hey, I'm having a problem, since they're in the same team chat. So it's going to be pretty tough. One nerve-wracking thing, I know you haven't been on the track here for a little bit, Nolan, but seeing that green flag drops and we go around for one more lap, how nerve-wracking is that when you see green, you almost want to immediately step on the gas?
There has been multiple times where I have been thankfully still in 4th gear, where I'll just be, like one of my housemates has talked to me about caution, then I hear green flag and I'll put my foot down, and I'm like, oh wait, we have to wait. Like, the amount of times that has happened to me is embarrassing.
Boy, yeah, just being able to sit here and putt around a little bit, get ready to go. We'll be back under green here as soon as Curtis Yancey's ready to take off, and he does. There he goes. Bang.
A bit late there for Yancey.
Well, almost set it up. That way David Lakey can sling right back forward. He was on the ball for that one. Away they go.
He can three-wide maybe for Brandon Jackson as Eddie Hagge and Bob Berry now side by side coming out of turn 4. Brandon Jackson getting a small run on Hagge as the 84 is having some connection issues. It looks like going into turn 1.
Yep. Currently still Yancey doing a great job jumping out by half a second again out there in that fresh, clean air. Eddie Hagge dives down to the bottom. That way that's going to be close. Currently Bob Berry keeping an eye out that netting, watching where that 97's going. He's looking pretty wild there on the bottom, using up those tires to see if he can get some positions quick. He's got 6 net currently, looking for number 7.
Eddie Hagge's still side by side with Brandon Jackson. They're pretty even on both of those lanes, but I know we were talking with a driver earlier saying that bottom lane might heat up your tires too much, so Brandon Jackson might be in that preferred lane for the long run if we're able to go caution free for a while.
Yeah, Eddie Haggy needs to make this pass here pretty quick as Brandon Jackson remains on the outside. Currently the 97 here of Eddie Haggy has been churning away. I said he was hacking away at Bob Berry, but now he's having to defend to see if Brandon Jackson's going to take away. Finally makes the clear. Heading into turn number 3. Lap number 12 underway, coming up on 13, all Curtis Yancey's race.
Curtis Yancey just pulling away from this, it looks like, that gap. But it looks like David Lakey is starting to reel him in just a little bit as there's a little bit of contact with the wall behind him. But what I think is either Bob Berry or Eddie Haggy smacking the wall coming out of 2.
Yeah, currently Lakey is starting to reel him in. Got him in there to about a quarter of a second. Looks like Yancey's actually backing up these turns pretty well. Lakey, Bob Berry, Brandon Jackson all doing the same, diving in deep, trying to get pretty close, but Yancey with the turn exit speed, he's leaving everybody here. And I'm wondering if that's a little bit of a tire strategy here by Curtis Yancey. Let it just ride it on out and then go ahead and battle it out a little bit later in case things start getting heated. Speaking of which, heated, take a look at Bob Berry to the outside. He gets overtaken by Brandon Jackson and Eddie Haggy. Berry on the wind backwards.
Yeah, may have burned up his tires just a little bit because these higher speed, high bank tracks, you can, even though it is a slicker track, if you're able to make the car, I don't want to say tight, but more stable, you can end up burning up your right front. That's what I think I'm seeing in the background a couple of times, is that there's multiple cars going up into that turn 2 wall and just not absolutely wailing on it, but they're definitely hitting it and maybe causing some long-term damage.
Yeah, honestly, when you get these tracks out there, it's always the high, low, high. You want to stay high on the straightaways and super low into these turns. Bob Berry's been a little bit stuck on the outside most of this race, so he's had a very difficult time trying to stay really in that groove where everybody else is going. Zemecki is next on the list as Kevin Foster takes a shot, and he makes his pass. Kevin Foster now back up to his original qualifying position, but tons of shuffling back here, even in the back, is Matt Crockett doing everything he can, now at least a 14th, as he tries to work on his turn back up to the front.
As it looks like a lot of these cars are starting to single file out here from what I can see, but Brandon Jackson getting really close to the 84, entering turn 3. The small battle maybe brewing here, and side by side behind him is Eddie Haggy and Kevin Foster going into turn 1. Side by side, Foster and Haggy coming down the back straightaway. Can they keep it together? Can they keep it clean as they're pretty far apart? Looks like they're racing each other relatively clean as they get close coming off of 4. A little bit of swirling is coming from Foster. It looks like somebody blinking in the background from what I can see. And then Kevin Foster and Eddie Haggy just a single file out going into 1.
Yeah, a little bit of trouble, I think, out of Jason Greenwell back there with a connection issue. Definitely a lot farther apart, Eddie Haggy and Kevin Foster, than we saw Brandon Jackson and David Lakey getting at it. Currently, we got a lap car down here on the bottom. Looks like the number 17, Deontay Rader, sitting, looks like he is going to be our first driver a lap down here. He's taking the inside line. I don't know if he's got a mechanical issue, though. Everybody holding in tight. Kevin Foster. Yep, all right, Kelly Queel. I felt you pucker there, as I know Kevin Foster was getting super close. Everybody's starting to shuffle around. Doesn't seem any problems. Back to Josh Adams here. Here's the number 22 going ahead and getting around some lap traffic as we finally get some green flag laps here after that early caution from Matt Crockett on the spin out there. That definitely caused a little bit of a ruckus. Everybody had to realign back up, get back underway, and it looks like everybody is smooth sailing here. No battles out here on the track just yet. Bob Berry taking a little sniff around there. Turn the bottom end here of Kevin Foster, and it looks like a battle for the lead there. And yes, it is. Brandon Jackson is overtaking Curtis Yancey. He's using the Lady Chaos Racing Machine to jam him.
Great pass for ladies. Nicole Crystal goes to the high lane to let the leaders battle it out as Curtis Yancey gets on the bumper of the 91. Curtis Yancey might have burned up his tires just a little bit, and that may have allowed Brandon Jackson to catch him here. And there's a caution.
Caution is out here. Looking to see who has caused our troublemaker. Not currently seeing anything as of just yet.
Matt Crockett.
Crockett around again. Boy, talk about a lucky draw here for Nicole. She looks like she might be able to get back onto the lead lap. Let's take a look at what happens. As the 15, ooh, gets close to the lap car. That was the 99 sent him? Yeah.
Yeah, from what I can see, it looks like either Joshua or got sent it in just a little too hard with the lap car there, or Matt broke just a little early than Joshua was expecting there going into 3.
Yeah, it looked way early there from Matt Crockett. Looked like he may have gone in pretty hot. Looked like he was trying to get around the lap car. But you're watching the 99 trying to get clear of the 17 before the turn. And gets nervous. He's going to be stuck with him there. And, well, guess gets sent around. Hopefully the 99 hasn't suffered too much damage, nor Matt Crockett. As I say that, Matt Crockett is working his way down into pit road. This will be his second visit here tonight. Take a quick little check. Hopefully no fast repair damage. Doesn't look like his vehicle is damaged that bad. It looks like they're just going to pull the fenders off the tires out there, and some trouble it's going to be. All right, so you race out there for realsies there, Mr. Gross. How critical is body damage and to the car out there? I mean, you going to have trouble with it contacting the tire, any kind of aerodynamic issues, or is it just like a game of bumper cars out there?
So with my type of racing, because I race sport compacts, it's a little aerodynamics in the body. Yeah, at least with the car that I have, can affect it a little bit, but you get some of these guys with sport compacts that just pretty much look like a late model sometimes, and those guys have those arrows, have that arrow on them, and yeah, if you get a tire rub, you can cut a tire down, and we don't have very long races. I think the longest race I've ever had is around 50 laps at Owasso last year. And other than that, most of our races are around 30 laps at short track, so you only got around 7 minutes to get your race in.
Wow. How much prep does it take for a 7-minute race?
Well, currently my first race isn't until I think about late May, early June, and I'm currently working on the transmission for that race.
Wow. All right. I always wondered, does it take, 3 days of practice to get ready, or is it, aim and fire out there? Wow.
Oh, I'd love 3 days of practice. That'd be awesome. But yeah, we try to take those. I try to convince my dad whenever we have a chance to go to a 2-day show to get the tire data. Not even really tire data, just get the data that we need about how is the track going to handle, how are we going to deal with it, and just hopefully come away with a good finish and bring the car home with the trailer.
Yeah, well, definitely not bring it up as heading to the scrapyard, with them getting mangled up out there. So definitely tough out there. So second caution comes out here of the night, both of them by Matt Crockett out there, unfortunately. One assisted, one not assisted. So troublesome here. Looks like he's going to be in and out of this race if he's not careful. The incident points do count out there, guys, until they get to incident point number 20. We'll start serving drive-throughs. So currently, right now, on his best behavior is going to be Matt Crockett. And back under green with Brandon Jackson and Curtis Yancey side by side going into turn 1.
Side by side coming out of turn 2. Brandon Jackson didn't really get the jump. I think he was looking for picking that outside lane as they're side by side. Can he get the run off? Looks like it. And it looks like that back of the field also did not really get a good jump on that bottom lane. I kind of saw a car kind of out of place there. We're single file out here, but it looks like they need the first 4 rows, but they're side by side battling. Justin Zemecki and Kevin Foster and Bob Berry all within a blanket of each other going on the front stretch.
Yeah, very tough here. Zemecki trying to find the right groove to see if he can follow in. We'll sit on board here with Justin Zemecki. Take a look at what he's seeing.
Oh, big car flipping on the back straightaway.
Oh, was that the 18 of Victor Weaver?
Victor Weaver has blown a motor after going around and upside down on the back straightaway.
Whoa. I caught just the end of that where he noses in and hits the wall. I'm sure we'll get plenty of opportunity to see this. Caution back out here, as this is going to be troublesome. Let's see how the 18, what he runs into. The 43 machine. Oof.
Yeah, I think it's just the fact that Platt, like we've been saying all night, is not on his normal sim. He's not steering with the wheel tonight. He's steering on a joystick controller. Now, in my experience, is if your pedals go out, it's a lot easier to throttle with like a button, kind of like what Dawson Music used to do. But if you lose that steering, you lose some of that fidelity you have, some of that control you can actually get. So seeing a wreck like this, I don't want to say I'm surprised, but I'm surprised. I don't want to say. Oh, I mean, he might have gotten a little bit of help coming up. I'm not sure because
Boy, all 4 tires off the ground.
Ugh. That was a wreck and a half. I'll tell you what.
Hopefully Victor Weaver's all right, able to get that car back together. As he is blown to pieces, we'll get us another angle here. What gets me is watch the 43 up toward the top of the screen. Watch up right there. Like he has a dead spot, and all of a sudden slings him up the track. He's able to gather it, though.
Yeah, from what I could see from the angle, from sitting a little further back, it thought he actually got hit, but no, it looks like having that controller isn't helping him a lot. So I think Victor Weaver is going to have to use, obviously he's going to have to use his fast repair. It's all about, can he get back out on track before the green flag?
Wow. There it is, fully off the ground here.
Ooh.
Yeah, and you can't blame Victor Weaver. He's trying to get off the track to stop any more damage from occurring to anybody else. So Victor Weaver, I'm currently showing, did have to tow, so that's maybe what's taking him that time. Normally, I think it's about 4 minutes to tow down the pit road and get that thing put back together. But I see tires going on the NOS machine.
Yeah, it looks like his towing is done, but from what I can see, I don't know if his damage got repaired, so we'll see how well that cleans up here. But it could just be a visual glitch on my end.
All right.
As they are 1 to green here coming down from front straightaway.
Yep. All right, they're getting ready to shuffle everything through. Quick caution should help get the number 17 at least one of his laps back, so he should be our lucky dog around. And back to it, Firestone Tire Studios is asking who the 43 is, Mr. Jonathan Platt. Unfortunately, he is going to be the culprit of our caution here tonight. He started in 8th. He'll be starting back 8 spots from that, outside the top 15 for Mr. Platt, so he's going to be having some trouble. Our number 2 points holder right now is having a tough time here tonight. Boy, I thought this was going to be a chip shot for him to pass Nick Nickerson, but that does not seem to be the case as we are back under green.
Back under green going into turn 1. Brandon Jackson takes the lead coming off of turn number 2 as the top 5 look like to be a blanket all the way through 1 and 2. As the 97 and the 84 were side by side going into 3, and now it's the 84 and the 8 coming down the front straightaway.
Great jump there by Brandon Jackson. Probably the restart he wanted the first time. Still stuck to the outside lane though, and he's able to capitalize. Eddie Haggy sits 3rd. Kevin Foster goes ahead and watches Eddie Haggy go ahead and drive on off, as Haggy's been pretty aggressive here this race. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder from the past couple we've seen him. Now let's rotate back here to Josh Adams, currently sitting in 8th. Haven't had a whole lot to talk about him here lately, but he's next to Justin Zemecki, and these two might have a little something going here. I've seen the 22 and the 03 have made contact here past couple of runs.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. You know, just like Danny Hamlin has said, it's short track racing, but with how fast and loose these cars are, any bit of contact can break. As Justin Zemecki gets up into the wall coming out too. Was able to just barely get his quarter panel side by side with Zemecki coming off. Oh, Justin loose coming down that 4.
We sit on top of Logan Murray as we watch and see forward of what Zemecki's going to be able to do. I don't think he's going to have anything for him, and Josh Adams finally completes the pass, 7th position for him.
Teammates side by side through 3 and 4. Josh Adams starts to look ahead of him here as he comes up into 7th and 6th places. Logan Murray runs Justin Zemecki up the track a little bit, and Justin in the wall again.
Boy, Zemecki's going to appreciate when this stage comes to an end. He's going to be going in there and having the guys with a couple rubber mallets beat that right front fender off, because he has definitely transformed the shape of that car. Got to be very careful as the Skull Machine. Logan Murray goes ahead and moves on forward. That's now 4 for him tonight, as well as Josh Adams up 4. Bob Berry stops the bleeding here at 6th position. Moving up front here to David Lakey, who's 5th. Kevin Foster, Haggy, Yancey, and led by none other than Brandon Jackson. Currently, him and Curtis Yancey will be the only ones to lead this race.
Oh, just the Mickey's around coming out of 2.
Boy, hate to see your teammates get close to each other, and then one of them ends up losing it here, and especially one of your teammates. Boy, yep, he's going to be bringing that in. He's going to be bringing that in. Hate to see that for Zemecki. He has been spending a little time off here from the league, but he is getting beaten around like he's a veteran. Boy, yep, that right front tire is rather exposed here. Third caution out here for the night.
Yeah, just from what I can see, looks like Justin just got on the power. That right rear tire might be overheating or just getting too much heat into it. And as he pulls it down into pit lane, might be either getting a damage repair or taking tires here after that spin coming out of 2.
All right, we'll keep tabs here on Justin Zemecki as we take a look at what happens here. The 03 machine, yep, slides him on around. And I wonder if that kind of bases back on that aerodynamics I was talking about a little bit earlier. If he's been beating that right front fender off, he catches a little more air on that right front tire. And just is unable to keep it collected up. Yep, pretty tough there for Justin Zemecki. So now he'll be in the back of the pack as he is getting some repairs done.
Yeah.
Yuck.
With how high-speed track this is, I would not be surprised if there is a tad bit of some of that aero wash that you might get at some of the bigger tracks. Well, I mean, we'll see how this race pans out. There is still the stage break to come for Justin, so maybe he just threw some tires on it, maybe some of that optional repairs to get that car fixed so he doesn't have to use his fast repair.
Yep, and with some of these guys not having as much time, you almost wonder, would it benefit these guys to take only 2 or all 4? I've seen that at short track, sometimes you just grab a hold of those 2 outside tires and actually let the worn tires slip on the inside on purpose and actually pick up a ton of time.
Yeah, well, I do something similar with my real-life racing. Since my car is a front-wheel drive, we put the oldest tires we can on the rear tires so we can have that rear end just slide around the track and be able to run a little faster.
All right. Been pretty quiet here all night here for Bill Harkins. And we do want to note he has moved up a few positions. I believe he's up 4 as Jason Greenwell will be occupying that 9th position and hovering around there most of the night. Expect to see row number 5 do a little something here. And maybe we'll see these guys duke it out. See, as soon as you see pace car off, you're expecting go, 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 go. No, we got to wait one more lap.
One more time around.
We'll get going here. Brandon Jackson, he's going to see if he can reduplicate that restart there. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it.
Yeah, we'll see. He's warming up his tires, but like we've been saying, it's too much tire heat. That'll be an issue tonight with how loose Matt Crockett's been himself earlier in the race. Now with Justin Zemecki doing it here towards the middle half. We'll see how it goes as Brandon Jackson leads them back to green.
All right, sitting on top of Bob Barry's car now, looking forward. And nice smooth start, but Brandon Jackson unable to break away.
There it goes. He's able to get it clear off of 2, but they are tight on his bumper going to 3.
Yeah, he is pedaling it, though. There we go. Brandon Jackson able to make the breakaway. I think a little bit of that clean air does help him, though. And Curtis Yancey sits second. Eddie Haggy looks like he's going to have to fight for third this time as Kevin Foster wants a piece of it.
Kevin Foster able to get that tiny bit of run off the high lane, which I think what happens here is if you run just that lane up off that true bottom of the track, you're able to get that slightly better run because I think that high lane is coming in so low right now.
All right, awesome job. Eddie Haggy does make the breakaway. Knocking down the fastest lap here of tonight is Brandon Jackson with an 18:41. Dude is on a roll here. Currently, as he's continuing to charge forward, I roll back, and what did I say about row number 5? These guys are still duking it out. Looks like currently Jason Greenwell and Bill Harkins are going at it. The battle out front in front of them with Logan Murray and Josh Adams finally comes to a close. Looks like everybody is starting to single file out here, and I would say, Nolan, currently looking at what we're seeing out here, these guys might just want to single file it for a little bit and just kind of slowly march here to the stage end.
Yeah, if I was anybody, honestly, I'd want to try to single file out from the first start of this race. Try to keep it clean and green. What was it? I think it was North Wilkesboro that we didn't have any cautions after the stage break.
Pretty impressive, isn't it? It's a heck of a race when this thing goes flag to flag, and the only thing you got is the stage. I can see a couple in the back end, but oof, who is that out there beating each other around? Looks like Matt Crock in the 99 back at it again. Boy.
Side by side coming out of Ford. Tempers flaring here on short tracks. You gotta love it.
Talk about it. An old veteran coming back to the lead, getting beat around by Matt Crockett. Boy, he's letting him know about it. I wonder if that 99 is going to go in there and give him a little love tap here. Hopefully these guys settle it down a little bit. We still got another second half of the race to go. There's tons and tons of work to do out there. Let's check in and look at Josh Adams. Ooh, you give a little nudge here to Logan. Ooh, boy, that's pretty close.
Side by side.
And as we got that going, it looks like we may have a battle here for the lead. Yancey trying it.
Curtis Yancey diving it down, poking his nose in. Can he keep it there? Doesn't look like it this time as Brandon Jackson is able to gap him coming out of turn 4. See if he can maybe get him here going into 3 this time, but I think it's just kind of single file out, wait for the stage, and I think Curtis is better on those newer tires. Maybe we're able to go green as Brandon Jackson gets loose coming out of 4, is able to allow Curtis Yancey to get that nose in and dive him in on the turn 1.
Boy, and Brandon Jackson definitely making Yancey work for it if he wants it. Boy, right now, Yancey's got the line. He gets a look, no dice. Right now, Brandon Jackson starting to play a little defense here. He might be able to use the lapped car that is upcoming here to his advantage. Checking out there in the chat, you guys are asking, where's the 18? The 18, yes, has died. Mr. Victor Weaver has died. Yeah, unfortunately, I guess was not able to get that car back together in one piece. I think the fast repair may have been a no-go for him as we get the 17 car. Looks like he heads down the lap here. Outside line for him. And it looks like the rest of the field is going to shuffle on by. Whoa!
Larkin's up into the wall. We got a 22 in the 4 of Logan and Murray. Still battling hard here coming towards that stage end.
Boy, these guys grinding it away. Looks like Yancey's got a slice here. Yancey to the inside. He does his best Jonathan Platt impression as he tail wags it on out of turn number 2. Turn number 4 looks a lot better, but that lap is going to go to Curtis Yancey. Can he hold on with 6 laps left to go?
I don't know. Oh, I don't know if that was me or I just saw what appeared to be Curtis Yancey maybe blinking now. But that could have just been on my end as they're still side by side going down the straightaway. Brandon Jackson now behind, poking his nose in, giving him the bumper. And the caution is out for cause. Where is it?
Currently showing Logan Murray might be our guy.
No! Looks like that battle between Logan Murray and the 22 of Joshua Adams has finally commenced.
Dang, let's go ahead and take a look back here. Adams to the inside. There was a little tapping before. Whoop! Guess they'll call it square since he's straightening him back up there. Trying to see, I'm looking to see if Logan got a little squirrely here at the top, slowing him down. Right there.
Yeah, it looks like Logan just got loose coming out of 4, trying to push the car too hard, and then just smacked the wall on both sides. Smacked his nose and smacked the wall, so his car might be square here for the last couple laps of the stage.
All right. As the mangling continues and the guys fighting each other. Certainly, Curtis Yancey will be taking us back to the restart here. As these two guys have been waiting it out. Great job by Curtis Yancey to stick around for Brandon Jackson. I think they had broken out to over a second lead over top of the rest of the field. And we were still waiting for them to see if anybody was going to be able to catch them, but that does not appear to be a problem any longer for Kevin Foster and Eddie Haggy. They'll be looking right at their rear bumper here on the restart.
We'll see how it goes here. It looks like this 17 might be our lucky dog here tonight, at least for this caution.
Yep. After he just gets past, he gets his lap right back. We'll see. I think Rader's getting. We'll see, getting more than he bargained for when he came into the league here. He's getting a couple laps down here and there. I think he's realizing how fast these guys are out here.
I sure don't think he knows of the wave around rule that we have here. Now, granted, I don't know how many laps we have. Yeah, there's still single file, that's on. But yeah, we'll see. I think what caused Logan to get side by side with that 22 again was the fact that that 17 was up in that high lane, and as they were coming to the front straightaway, Logan had to go down to that second lane going down the front stretch and just brought the 22 back to him.
Jonathan Platt doing a little thumb work out there as he's working that joystick back and forth. All right, Josh Adams, there he is, sitting 7th. Green flag, not yet. I don't know how you guys do it. That, to me, even from up here, I don't know how you guys do it. I'd have messed that up 1,000 times. All right, so it shows 1 lap left to go. I think this is going to be a couple lap shootout here. We'll bring it to the stage.
Getting ready to go. Curtis Yancey is going to have control of this restart here, coming very close to that competition caution stage break, when cars will come in, take a 5-minute break, and then we'll go. It's the 17 finally comes around, and Curtis Yancey, we might be holding for another lap here, it looks like.
There we go. There's our reset.
Holding for an extra lap here as the 17 takes a little bit to get up to the front and take his wave around here.
Go pull up a little bit of track position. They should be catching him here before everybody enters turn 3. Just trying to get the quick hurry up there. Curtis Yancey taking control here, bottom lane. He's feeling pretty confident from there. I think Brandon Jackson's got to put a fender in him if he wants to keep up. Yancey's been awesome at these restarts. And away we go, 2 to go.
Curtis Yancey pulls out into the lead, side by side behind him with what appears to be Kevin Foster and Eddie Haggy going side by side into turn 3 and 4 as it looks like Foster is able to get the nose on him coming out here, and there is your competition caution for the stage break.
One lap shootout. I was really hoping we were going to string it out just one more than that.
Yeah, I think it was because that 17 holding it up just a little bit robbed you of that there, Patrick.
Yeah, pretty tough here. All right, well, only one driver ended up taking it back to the garage here tonight, Victor Weaver, after getting mangled up out there, which was rather unfortunate for Mr. Victor Weaver. I believe that was black on lap number 26, I believe. Victor Weaver got mashed to pieces.
Yeah, that was a crazy wreck. As, like we were saying, Jonathan Platt on that joystick just not really having the full fidelity control that you have with a steering wheel, and just getting getting loose going into turn 1 and having to chase it up the track, and then I don't think he really realized that 18 was right there or coming up behind him.
Yeah, pretty ugly out there. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the number 8 machine. Already pulling down into pit, 4 tires and fuel for Kevin Foster. But Kevin, tough racing out here, man. It is switching back and forth between all these drivers. You know, how's it looking for the 8 machine for you guys to start fighting your way up to possibly a podium position?
Oh, woof. That was a fun 60 laps. Hope everyone enjoyed that. it's a very unique track. You have to be very, entry speed is, let's say, it's a very fine line on entry speed. You go too fast, it'll push up. You go too slow, you're just going to get past. But if you hit it just right, I was running behind Eddie there, and I was like, man, I can't put 2 laps together, consistent laps. But I found something, instead of, coming out of the corner and matting the gas, I was, just rolling back onto the throttle, and I was able to get around Eddie there. So hopefully that translates to a little bit more speed during the end of the race. But that's it. But fun race. You can pass. We've had some passes for the lead, which is rare. So I'm really excited that I hope hope they're not listening, but I hope the 91 and 51 kind of get into it and let the 8 car drive on by the victory.
You could use one. You could use one, Kevin. Now, we talk a little bit about, kind of how the other racing's going out there, but my biggest question is how in the world do you put laps together out there? I mean, it's back and forth, guys beating and banging the doors off. I mean, we've seen some guys get pretty fast. Jonathan Platt get up there and then get into some trouble. Eddie Hagge, I mean, he gets really aggressive during these turns. With the cautions coming out, I'll kind of make this a multi-angled question. With the amount of cautions coming out, does it change your aggressiveness out there on the track?
Yes, because, you don't know when the next caution is going to come. So therefore, you're going to drive a little more aggressive, a little more eagerness, willingness to get that guy in front of you. So if the caution does come out, then you'll be able to, line up just one more row ahead of the next guy. And also, it seems like the top line is getting, more dominant than the bottom lane. So if you're, sitting there running 5th, you might want to fall back to 6th just to get the top, on a late caution restart. So I'm just saying there might be some games played here late in the race.
All right, Kevin, we wish you luck out there. You better say something nice to Miss Kelly Queel before you go.
Mama, I love you. Thank you for the support. And also thank you for all the fans out there watching. My family, the wife, everyone that, supports this league, that tunes in to Simtrax. Thank you. Appreciate everyone out there.
All right, Kevin, good luck.
Thank you, brother.
All right, Kevin Foster getting ready to go on here. Boy, what a mess this is. What an absolute mess. Drivers back and forth, guys looking pretty dicey out there, trying to figure out if they've got anything going on. So speaking of somebody going on, I want to go ahead and grab a hold of 97 of Eddie Hagge. We kind of poke every once in a while to get a hold of Eddie, and this one I want to kind of jab at a little bit here. You were extremely aggressive out there on the track here tonight. A little chip on your shoulder, or is this car just feeling just right for you?
Am I aggressive? I look a little more aggressive today?
Of course, buddy. You are sending it in these turns while everybody else is staying up about a lane higher than you are.
I don't know. I think the car feels better to me about half, like the second higher half of the bottom lane, whereas, like you said, everybody else is running that middle lane. And yeah, I mean, I feel like people are getting tight and just slow in the middle of the track, and you can pass on the bottom, but got to be aggressive in these cars, man. It's hard to pass. I don't really know how much the tires are falling off. Got to do everything I can. And Brandon just drove right by Curtis. I'll see if I can find out how to do that.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. Curtis was able to fight back and get him before the stage end here, but it was pretty rough. I know you and Kevin Foster have been going at it here for a little bit. Is there anything that you're noticing he's doing that's working for him, or is it you just able to get around him so easily? I mean, talk to me about how this track is really treating the car.
Yeah, he's a little bit better, I think he saves better than I did. He clearly has more practice here. But yeah, he does not run the bottom like the first few cars do. He rolls the middle pretty good. I think I'm just checking my tires now. They're a lot lower than I thought. So maybe there is some serious tire wear to consider, and on these next, 65 laps, a lot of laps. And depending on how many cautions we get, it's, might have to consider some strategy or how to keep that right front on a little better.
Oh yeah. So the aggressiveness is apparent. There we go. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, with the amount of cautions, I was kind of talking to Kevin, it's we tilt back and forth whether or not this is, guys are going to stay aggressive if we're going to have cautions, do you get more aggressive? You know, you're going to have time for those tires to cool down, but once again, it's run and gun instead of, you know, kind of single file churn a couple of these laps and then turn up the heat later. So, Eddie, good luck to you out there, buddy. It's going to be tough, dude.
Absolutely. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll sling him back down there to Jason Greenwell as he's getting ready to rock. All right, well, talk to me a little bit about this here, Nolan. We got a lot of guys out here that apparently want to move up, but it's a little easier said than done.
Yeah, from my experience with short track racing, especially in real life and in iRacing, is that if it's really a guy who is right on your pace, like everyone here in this league is, like there's multiple times where I'm practicing and I just think, man, I'm sitting 15th, I'm not doing too hot, and then I look at the gaps and I'm like, that is a 2/10 gap from Jonathan Platt when he's having a good night. Now, never mind. So with how tight this field is, I'm not too surprised that it's hard to pass people here. People might just start using that front bumper, getting into the quarter panels here as the second half of this race is about to get underway.
All right, well, both of your drivers, Zemecki and Logan Murray, have been unfortunately caught up in one of these cautions out here tonight, and I think just a little bit of the fender and quarter panel have been troublesome for them out there. I'm hoping the best for everybody. It was definitely not the first half I expected, and especially from the drivers. I'm not saying I'm going to put my finger on, Matt Crockett's good for 8 cautions. That's not what I'm saying, but. But one of our cautions involved Jonathan Platt and Victor Weaver. Logan Murray got tangled up in a mess. Zemecki got turned around. I mean, there was a lot of names that normally are pretty quiet here, even if in the back of the field are pretty quiet, but just got mixed up out there. I just hope they are able to fare better here in the second half.
Yeah, I hope so too. But hopefully. And none of them had to use their fast repair here during this break because of the 5-minute long break, and especially for some of the guys lower back in the field, that break is a little bit longer than 5 minutes just because you're just waiting for Dalton to call your name up to get into the lineup.
Might also play out for the guys who were in the lead as well. They were able to get in and technically have 5-minute timer doesn't start till the last guy's in the pit box. So hey, try to flatten it out a little bit out there, but we are getting ready to go here. 65 laps to the end. And Brandon Jackson and Curtis Yancey are going to go ahead and duke it out once more. And I am excited to see. Now, Brandon almost calling a shot here like this is going to be a piece of cake for him. To get around, and we'll be talking to him again here at the end of the race, but we'll see if Curtis Yancey is going to put a stop to that here and give him a little bit of something to think about. Kevin Foster sitting fourth with Eddie Hagee. He'll be starting on the outside line. David Lakey sitting fifth. Looks like Bob Berry looks to be in the 6th position, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he is there on the outside. Jason Greenwell sits 7th with Joshua Adams to his outside. Bill Harkins, not bad. There we go, up to 9th. And he'll have Justin Zemecki to his outside. That'll be our top 10 start here as Curtis Yancey's getting ready to get us back underway here. And there he goes, the Bass Tracker machine. Here he goes. Out front, but quick into turn number 1. Great cutoff there as Brandon Jackson looks like he was winding up for a run to dive to the back to the inside.
Oh, contact, Justin Zemecki turns, Bill Harkins after making contact, and Logan Murray's in it.
I like your wind down when you realize both your teammates had just mangled each other. Logan Murray full sends it there. There you go. That's how you turn the late model around.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that.
All right, we'll let you close your eyes for a little bit here because I'm going to have to show everybody a replay of what the heck just happened out there with Justin Zemecki. Get going here. Dude, what just happened?
Look, from what I could see, it looks like, so a lot of the times when you're racing, what you'll do is you'll not fully go up to that wall to kind of mess with the guy on your inside, so they don't have that chance to go up into their lane that they want to run. And it looks like Bill Harkins was not expecting Justin Zemecki to do that, and he just kind of, don't want to say chopped his nose, but just wasn't expecting him to be there. And then Logan Murray just mollywops Justin Zemecki and almost sends him around upside down.
Holy cow. Right there. Hooks him. Bam. And Logan full send straight to the face. No. Boy, this is what it looks like from Logan's view. Could he have avoided this?
I don't care what he says, he could have.
Oof. He was off the gas, but a little, not I have to start pressing that one in the middle. Ouch. So we'll see if how many drivers decide to come down pit road here.
We'll see. I think Justin Zemecki and Logan Murray definitely two that might, if they haven't already, go take that fast repair, guys, and just roll in the back, please.
See Bill Harkins looks like he's shuffling back. Logan Murray. Looks like we may have done a touch and go. Looks like yep, lap 64, 28 seconds for Logan Murray. Zemecki comes in for 3 seconds, so obviously fast repair for him.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming here.
And Jay out there in the chat saying we just watched murder. I think he's also congratulating you on that commentary there with the
Oh.
Boy, definitely killed him there. All right, Brandon Jackson, Curtis Yancey gonna go at it again. Looks like most of their battle tonight has been a good bit of restarts here. Collected a few cautions though, not more than usual, but we do have a few more drivers than we're used to out here. Fortunately, glad to see the car count is coming up, especially with Josh Billiter coming back in with the 99 machine.
Yeah, I'm used to still seeing Brandon Action Jackson in the 99, so seeing someone else in it is definitely a bit of a learning curve for me right now.
100%. Mr. Raider out here looks like in the 17 machine. You wouldn't believe, back onto the lead lap, baby.
Oh, gee, that is a good thing for him as we go green going into turn 1. Kevin Foster and Brandon Jackson side by side coming out of 2. Is Brandon Jackson able to clear him as Eddie Haggy gets loose coming out of 2?
All right, Eddie Haggy looking like a fish coming out of turn number 2. Gets very close to the wall, but he's able to save it. Got to calm that thing down a little bit here. He's definitely nervous. We talked to him about his tire wear issue, but Bob Berry, he's going to go ahead and use his now. Dives to the bottom, takes a look. No can do through 1 and 2. He's going to try again through 3 and 4.
Side by side, door to door, almost contact coming out of 4. Bob Berry and Eddie Haggy battling it hard here very early on in this stage. Don't want to burn your tires up too much as Bob Berry makes contact with the wall and is able to spread out behind Eddie Haggy.
All right, I feel you guys out there in the chat watching here. Y'all are doing a little bit of leaning as well as we are as Bob Berry makes that solid pass there. Is able to get around. Eddie Haggy now 4th, and now David Lakey sitting in 6th. Lakey is still battling, though, trying to hold on as Josh Adams goes ahead and tries to prove his point from the outside. Doesn't get it, might cross him over. Josh Adams not able to plant and go. Right now, the 22 machine taking another look here to the inside, but don't knock off Jason Greenwell. He's going to be taking a piece here from the back of this pack. Whoop, who's getting loose here in the back? Somebody's ending up getting this in trouble. I think that's Platt.
Jonathan Platt and Justin Zemecki side by side. Looks like Justin might finally be faster than Jonathan Platt here tonight. But can he get around him? Pretty similar speed, but again with that controller, Jonathan Platt is not able to make those quick corrections you need to be able to make in these cars. So he's just loose consistently, I think, as they're side by side behind that battle now.
I'm not reading this right. 55-foot wide straightaways, and we've still got guys scuffing the wall coming out of these turns. So you know they're using up every inch of real estate out there to come up with as much speed as absolutely possible, but the traction is just so low out there. No, the 17 car back under a lap down. Boy, he is having some trouble. Might have to get that guy. Whoa, Platt gets nicked. Man, caught that just in time. I have to recalibrate this guy's gas pedal here. I saw that happen to another driver. A little calibration changed his whole race. Let's check back in on Josh Adams, and Nolan Gross looks like he is taking a peek here to Bob Berry.
It's side by side with Bob Berry going down the back straightaway, poking his nose in, trying to get that run off that corner with that bottom lane. I think Bob Berry is just able to roll that top just a little bit, completely side by side, going into one. Ooh, getting close to contact. It looks Jason Greenwell now side by side with Bob Berry going down into turn 3.
Boy, right now Jason Greenwell saw an opportunity and he does attack. Solid pass there. Jason Greenwell now up 2. He sits 7th. Great job here. Bob Berry going ahead and letting these guys go on by, as it seemed to definitely live to fight another day, maybe his motto right now. And currently there's a ton of things happening. Justin Zemecki, I think, will be next on the list to go ahead and see if he can knock down Bob Berry 6 positions down from his original starting spot. Zemecki just needs about 3 more right now to get back to his. So what a turn of events here. We got drivers starting in the front, all the way in the back, drivers from the back up to the front. I mean, between Eddie Hagge and Josh Adams, that's at least 10 positions gained for those two guys, and it has been definitely a wrestling match out there to find some more speed, yet being tied to the tire.
Side by side, Logan Murray and Jonathan Platt now is maybe Logan put Platt into the wall to dispatch him going on into turn 3. If I'm Platt, I might, once I get my wheel fixed, I might return the favor of Logan here, as he's definitely fighting a loose car condition here tonight.
Boy, look at Platt. You can just see something's wrong. Very unusual for him to be like this. Look at the wheel. He is very blocky. Holy cow.
Yeah, that with how little travel you have while controlling these cars with a joystick, you can go from holding your wheel dead straight to having it on lock in legitimately less than a second. So it is hard to keep these cars underneath you, as Bob Berry and appears to be Jason Greenwell side by side now coming up to 2.
Wow. All right. We wish the best out there for Jonathan Platt. What a mess that. I don't know about you guys. This is really a multi-angled race here. We've got equipment problems. We've got new guys coming in. We've got track trouble. We've got tire problems. I mean, what a race. This has got a little bit of everything out there. But it's definitely got some side-by-side racing, and that's what we're seeing right now at Jason Greenwell and Bob Berry. Greenwell, I think, is going to try to dive on in once again, follow the Eddie Hagge line. Can't compete, though. Right now, Bob Berry's got a solid line on the outside as Justin Zemecki starts coming into play.
Justin Zemecki starting to sniff it out, and after getting launched into the air, is able to pull it back. Oh, Jason Greenwell is around halfway, but he's able to keep the car rolling from underneath him.
All right, round of applause from our fans out there. At the 83, able to hold it together, not bring out a caution here. We stay under green. About 40 laps left to go here in this stage, led by Curtis Yancey. But boy, if these guys broken away. 2-second gap at 1 and 2, and that moves us to Kevin Foster, who's back there in 3rd. But take a look right now. Brandon Jackson to the inside, has to duck back in. So Curtis Yancey definitely blocking up a good part of this track. No one can get around.
This is what I was saying earlier, where I think Curtis Yancey is better on those newer tires, but as the green flag run goes, we're about, I want to say, 25 laps into this stage. Brandon Jackson is able to have, I don't want to say fresher tires, but cleaner tires, able to catch up to Curtis and just pull away from the rest of the field.
All right, a little bit of lap traffic there from Nicole Crazel. Gets these guys, maybe Brandon Jackson, a little mixed up on his turn exit that he wanted there. Out there in the chat, Surgeon Steve is saying, wait, Platt, you race on a controller for tonight. He is. There's some trouble with his steering wheel, and with the points chase being so close and his ability to be here and compete, he did not want to miss out. There's no start and park, and he's out of provisional, so very, very tough here for Jonathan Platt. But this is right now our two leaders here. We'll split off here for just a moment. Check back in again on Bob Berry. Waiting to see if Eddie Hagge is kind of laying back here a little bit. He looked aggressive. He's had some speed, but not quite as much speed as our two guys in the front.
Not as quite. Justin Zemecki pokes his nose in. Bob Berry gets loose as they are under a blanket going into turn one. Justin Zemecki pokes his nose underneath Eddie Hagge, trying to get the run off of turn two. Nicole Crazel up into the wall in front of them. Can Justin maybe use Nicole as a pick to get around Eddie Hagge?
Seen it plenty of times before. Zemecki taking a look here. He's going to see if he can get Eddie Hagge behind him. And he does. There's the full clear.
There's the full clear. Eddie Hagge looking for the switchback, though. He's really good late on those brakes. And there it is, side by side. Almost clearing Justin Zemecki, but can Justin get the run off the corner? Side by side going into turn one. They are door to door. This racing is crazy.
Currently getting around another lap car, the 17 car up toward the top. Right now, Eddie Hagge still fighting it, though. Right now, that HR McAtee Consulting number 97 holding on to 8th, now back to 7th.
Justin into the wall, and I think did he just break his right front tire?
Checking on the 03 here. I'll see if I can get some drone footage out there. See if we can take a look.
No,
looks like we're still rotating.
He's under speed, but that tire it's hanging out there like he's driving a modified now.
Yeah, he's got to cut that out. He's been hammering that wall all night, and currently for the lead, here it comes. Brandon Jackson gets a nose out front, not quite for the line. Curtis Yancey still leading this one. Awesome job here by Curtis Yancey. Brandon Jackson takes another hack at it. Yancey's got 78 laps under his belt, but that only brings us to Brandon Jackson up to 39. So this race still continues. Look at that pivot. Slice back, looking to the inside. Yancey may send it a little deeper into this turn here to see if he can get him. Right now, side by side, we try to stay off our leaders for a good bit when there's battles all over the track, but these two guys, side by side, finally, Brandon Jackson able to capitalize.
Brandon Jackson able to get in front of Curtis Yancey, but is he going to be able to pull away? He's very consistently faster on the long run, so just lock in and just run your line, run your laps. And who knows, maybe Curtis Yancey was just holding back a little bit, saving his tires. We do not know. That's just how crazy this race has been here tonight.
All right, take a look back for Patsy Steele to find right now David Lakey currently holding in 4th. Right now, Lakey hasn't really been pressuring Foster, or he hasn't been pressured by Joshua Adams either. Currently, Lakey is holding in 4th. His times have been slightly falling off, though, as Adams begins to reel him in. Lakey losing about a 1/10 of a second here per lap to Josh Adams, as Adams has actually been picking up the speed. So we won't say Lakey's been falling off. Actually, Adams has been picking up the pace here by about a 1/10 of a second per lap, and is starting to reel that 84 machine in.
Super loose coming off of turn 2. Logan Murray's able to get around him.
Nice. That may be pretty rough here for Jason Greenwell. We'll take a look at that move and see how bad Greenwell's getting in trouble out here. Jason Greenwell, whoa, there he goes, snapping to the side there. Pretty ugly here for turn number 2. He gets a little crummy entrance into 3 and 4. I guarantee that lets Zemecki go ahead and waltz on around him. Pretty tough right now. Currently, Greenwell might be feeling a little bit of pressure here. See, we've been under green for quite a while. These guys have been stopped multiple times in the first stage. If that was going to be any sort of a call sign there in front of what was going to happen for him. So currently, Greenwell now to 9th. And I think right now that is currently our battle. Up here in the front for 3rd is Kevin Foster and David Lakey. Boy, I said right now they weren't testing each other. As soon as I pan away, here they are, going right back at it. Lakey now goes ahead and takes over 3rd.
Lakey takes over 3rd from Kevin Foster. Can Kevin capitalize again, maybe using that bumper to get around, as we are getting very close to the end of this race here tonight?
All right. Yeah, breaking away by about a quarter of a second here for David Lakey. That's less than that on our leaders. Currently running in Jonathan Platt. You can see jerking around again with that controller. As right now, our guys in the lead are getting ready to catch him here. This is currently Jonathan Platt just trying to keep a straight line here.
You've been saying all night, Jonathan Platt on that controller, just making it harder for himself to get that point. See, he's just squirming around like he's worm on a hook all night. Both of our leaders are able to get around him and just race him clean.
Piece of cake there for those two guys, so now they can go ahead and duke it out without any lapped cars being any trouble for them. 20 laps left to go. Can Brandon Jackson hold him off here? Per the stats, that doesn't seem to be the case. Curtis Yancey, being on hiatus here for a while, has returned, and he may be looking to make a mark. This guy hasn't won for quite some time, though. We would love to see him back in victory lane, but man, oh man, last time we saw Curtis Yancey able to knock it down was at Thompson Speedway, where he ended up getting the pole and the win at the same time in the same race. So right now he's been kind of on a solid drought here, but the 91 looking for that first number one spot if he can do it with 18 to go now.
18 laps to go. 2 lap cars coming down the front straightaway. Nicole Crazel and the 17 car. Oh! They're wrecking behind him. Nicole Crazel almost goes up and around hard into the inside wall.
Crazel looks like takes a right turn. Holy cow, who got maimed? Crazel got in some trouble there right off the hook there. Holy cow, what a hit.
Hit there is, I think, similar to Bill Harkins earlier in the race. Just was not expecting the 17 to be there.
2 lapped cars annihilate each other, unfortunately.
We were so close to having, I wasn't going to say it because of the commentator's curse, but we were so close to having a completely green second stage.
Oh, caution-free end. Yeah, that would have been awesome. At least fallen in line with Happy's 125. That made me pretty happy, but you want to talk about, check this out. Pit road for Curtis Yancey. Not for Brandon Jackson. I think this is a good call here.
Curtis Yancey getting those new tires, going to be able to capitalize on it. And Eddie Haggy misses pit box.
Oops. It's around here somewhere.
Rolled back almost a quarter of the way down pit lane. He now is getting his left side's up, as Logan Murray behind him is getting his right side's up, or his left side's up, sorry. As Logan Murray is able to leave, everyone's able to leave here. But like you said, Brandon Jackson did not pit. I think only how many cars stayed out that were on the lead lap?
Yeah,
not seeing very many. I'm only counting 4. Curtis Yancey has to get around 4 cars to get and catch up to Brandon Jackson here coming to the closing stages.
Yeah, we'll double check that number with missing that pit box. That's going to shuffle everybody around here. Currently drivers who did not pit: Brandon Jackson, David Lakey, Kevin Foster, Joshua Adams, and Bob Berry, giving us a total of 5 here. But that is unfortunately going to put him currently behind Yancey, Murray, Greenwell, Crockett, Billiter, and Bill Harkins. I believe Justin Zemecki and Jonathan Platt are down some laps here, so he's going to be able to shuffle in front of them. Wow.
Appears Justin Zemecki has already taken his fast repair earlier after that massive hit after wrecking going down the back straightaway, so he's still looking like a modified coming down here, about to take the green here. Logan Murray looking pretty clean. All these guys looking pretty clean. Curtis Yancey, the lone new tire car in his lane, in his row. Can he capitalize on it? Can he get back up to the front and take the lead away from Brandon Jackson as we go green next time by?
Hey, he's going to have to be quick on it, though. Do not want to let this fade off. As we shuffle the field here. Yep, everybody getting in line. Everybody getting back onto the correct lap that they're supposed to. And there's our starting lineup. Brandon Jackson, David Lakey side by side. Kevin Foster and Josh Adams going at it for row 2. That moves us on to Curtis Yancey and Bob Berry. And like you were saying, the fresh tires sitting on that outside line. That's going to move us to Jason Greenwell and Logan Murray. And it should be Matt Crockett and Josh Billiter here for our front 10. All right, here we go. Green flag is out. A little slow on the start here for the 91.
Kevin Foster gets contacts with the 22. Slowing up. Curtis Yancey coming out of 2 there. Them side by side. I think Curtis is going to bide his time, and he can. He's got 16.
Oh, Yancey! Oh my gosh. Yancey drifting around the turn there, kicks the sides out, and he is not waiting for these tires to settle in. He's got 15 laps left to go. He's side by side with Logan Murray right now. Times are looking pretty slow there for Yancey, unfortunately, with his sliding move, and he's got to figure out a plan and go.
Logan Murray side by side with Curtis Yancey. They're 2 cars battling with the newer tires. Logan Murray clears Yancey going down the back straightaway. Curtis Yancey beats his nose down side by side. Maybe Logan Murray side by side with the 22. Is he gonna maybe go 3 wide going down the front straightaway?
All eyes on Yancey right now as he's our fresh tire driver. Has had the lead here tonight. Only 2 drivers have had that lead with Yancey and Brandon Jackson, but they're wondering if that 51 machine is going to be able to make up the ground. Currently, he is sitting about 1.5 seconds off pace here, and he's got to figure out where to come up with that.
Contact with them.
Oh,
Curtis Yancey
Yancey's going around.
Are around. Curtis Yancey with the damage. Cole Crazel not able to stop. Hits Yancey after the caution has come out.
No. Did we have target fixation? No.
Might have had target fixation.
Oh, no.
With this being the only caution Curtis Yancey has been involved in, he's got to have that fast repair still. So if I'm him, I'm popping in pit lane real quick, popping that fast repair, and then, well, I don't know, actually, because I'm going to be going green with 10 laps to go, with 10 or 11 laps to go.
How did Logan Murray make it through this? So they were racing side by side. There's the contact. I would not want to turn on team chat radio right now. I guarantee you Yancey's lighting this one up. Boy. Well, you talk about short track racing. Is this part of it?
Sadly.
Yancey, tires again? Dang.
Maybe. I mean, he did just go for a massive slide in turn 1, and that could have just cooked his tires up. So he knew he was going to pit anyway to damage repair, so why not just take tires while you're at it?
You don't like that thunking feeling with a set of flat spots?
No, it's not very fun. I've had that experience before testing the car, and I got pretty loose one day and flat spotted a good set of tires, so that is not a fun feeling, not having the confidence, especially with, you don't know if you slicked off the tires at all, but with caution laps not counting, you can sit in pit lane a while, get that damage repair before you go green, be completely fine.
Yeah, which has got to be really, really nice. So hopefully he was able to fix that up. Our 18th place sitter in the points is currently leading this race. Brandon Jackson sitting down with only 150 points, and this guy has been on a roll. Currently, the 3 out of the 4 times he's raced, he's placed at least in the top 5. So he is just definitely living up to that name of Axon Jackson out here. He makes it happen. And he's going to be looking to see if he can go ahead and come away with his first win here of the season. Yancey has got to be extremely deflated right now as he's currently way back here in 13th. Expect a little retribution, I think, if he gets back up there around the around that number 4 car. But it may not be an issue, as I see currently Logan Murray might be shuffling around here in the back as a lap down car.
That is interesting. And there is a question in the chat from Steve. It's just asking why the 17's all the way up there. It is because we do not count caution laps, but we still do have a lucky dog rule. So what we end up doing is putting that Lucky Dog car in front of the field, and we allow him, as when the iRacing green flag comes out, they get their lap back, and then we will take the physical green flag for our drivers here tonight.
Didn't say it better myself. All right, green flag, get ready to drop here. Here we go, Brandon Jackson. Surrounded with a bunch of other drivers with older tires as well.
Oh, and there's a wreck in the front of the field, and they are... Oh, he's up and around!
Evan Foster.
Oh, Nicole Crazel coming in again.
That's like that 1-2
I am
punch.
glad
buddy.
I am not in this race.
Holy cow. It looked like Foster went to the inside here of David Lakey, and that car just could not hook, and got up into the 84 with everybody else behind him, started pushing. Wow.
Coming in right at the end there. Hit and a half.
We'll just say it's MMA, buddy. You're allowed to hit them while they're down.
Yeah, right.
Holy cow.
Got so close to a car going all the way over, but I think the most we've seen is in that 84 car just going right on his driver's side door, it looked like.
Nicks him there. And then... Okay. Oh. Oh, boom.
Jeez.
Ooh, 17 almost did it.
Almost.
That's only in horseshoes and hand grenades, right?
Yep.
All right. Let's
David
see.
Lakey.
Jason Greenwell. Let's see him do it. So we head into the turn. Everything. Ooh. Ooh, we didn't even see that part.
Miss.
So Billiter actually is back here getting in a mix-up as well. So he was spinning before even this happened.
Oh yeah, looks like him and Eddie Hagge make contact, and then I think Jason Greenwell sees that wreck and doesn't realize the 84 is wrecking. And then by the time he realizes the 84 is wrecking, it's a little too late.
Well, good job by Logan Murray not getting mangled up in that one.
Oh,
We'll take a look from his angle. How about on top? So he has two wrecks happen in front of him here. All right, Lakey sideways, the 99 sideways. Yes, yes. Ooh, missed. Ooh, get out of there.
if I am Logan, I am buying a lottery ticket after that wreck.
I thought that's when all your luck's used up. Oh boy. Been playing it wrong the whole time.
Gee, Logan Murray able to get just the car slowed down in time. That is a scary sight. You see a wreck, you clear that one, and then there's another wreck in front of you. It's almost like they're racing at Talladega or Daytona right now.
Don't say that. They might try it. All right. Bob Berry, 11th in the points, sitting second here on the track. Awesome. Glad to see that's working out well for the 75. Hopefully we can knock down a few more of these laps. I think we're going to have about a 15-lap runoff here. Well, shootout, that is. As we get past the skid marks there from the last caution. Wow, what a mess. What an absolute mess. What is Logan doing? Yeah, it looks like pit visit.
I don't know why he was not involved in an incident, but like you said earlier, he might be not on the lead lap, which it looks like he is. So,
yep. Yeah, they got him
I
back.
think he just rolled through pit lane. So could it be a drive-through penalty, maybe? But we're still under caution, so
well, let's get back to it here. Brandon Jackson off and away. Bob Berry sitting in second. Josh Adams third. Matt Crockett in fourth. Boy, Matt Crockett returning back to the top five. Not bad. 6 laps left to go here. I think Brandon Jackson might be walking away with this one. This is
Brandon
looking tough.
Jackson just pulling away side by side. Justin Zemecki and Eddie Hagge. And Eddie Hagge slides up the track a little bit. Curtis Yancey's right behind that battle too.
Boy, Curtis Yancey needs one more caution to see if he can get within range of a podium position here. He's sitting 7th. Right now, he does have a couple of drivers. Right now, I'm showing Curtis Yancey being given a black flag here.
Oh, Curtis Yancey has
Whoops.
the drive-through penalty.
He missed
it.
Road. Yep,
He misses pit lane. And I'm going to officially say it. I think Curtis Yancey's race is over. And there's a caution.
Drive-through. Oh no.
If you say Logan.
No.
Okay.
We took a ride with him a couple of times and he now gets caught up in one. I'm glad it's only nerves and not nerves rope after this one. Yuck.
Jason Greenwell just gets turned. Up.
Let's take a look. Lakey said, I got you, Yancey. No problem. Bam. Wow.
I think we're going to be going green with 2 to go here when everything's all said and done. After this race, and with Bob Berry right on Brandon Jackson, I think this is going to be a pretty tight battle here.
Mix up here. What happens is Yancey missed pit lane, which I guarantee he's kicking himself for that. If he had made it down pit road and the caution came out, he would have served the black flag penalty and then we would have bunched them all together again. Oh, man.
We'll see how it goes after all of this.
Take a look. Justin Zemecki sitting 4th.
Don't say anything.
I'm even gonna put it on the screen. What a race. And figure Zemecki's been meeting that wall more than anybody else out here tonight, and not by wrecking.
Nope.
He's been scrubbing the 03 off the right side of his car and has found success in it.
Justin Zemecki, one of the drivers we talked to in the pre-race, hoping to see him just culminate after taking a bit of a break. Because he actually had to go to Darlington last weekend working with a truck series team, so it's one of the reasons why he wasn't here. So hopefully trying to get a good result after helping out down in Darlington this past weekend.
Wow. God, Mitt Reddick ran a heck of a race that race at Darlington.
Oh, jeez. Well, he's been in my fantasy lineup the past 2 weeks.
Finally paid off.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. Well, he's been in my fantasy lineup since Daytona, but I've been putting him in my garage for the past 2 weeks because he's not getting up there. I think we're also down to single file restarts here as well here. I'm not sure, and it appears that we are. I think that's why I got confused earlier, so I at least still thought we were under caution when Logan took his drive-through.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess single file, that's going to hurt, because Curtis Yancey could use that time. You know, Jonathan Platt could use that time, being able to squeeze closer there.
Brandon Jackson leads the field. 2 to go restart. Can he get it? Launches him up. Hits the restart box. He launches. Eddie Hagge rear-ending Justin Zemecki, giving him that shot going down the front straightaway. Jonathan Platt sending it on Hagge going into turn 1.
He is feeling super confident now. Here comes Zemecki to the inside as Eddie Hagge's taking a quick peek. Right now it's getting pretty close. Last lap this time by.
White flag side by side. Justin Zemecki, Eddie Hagge. Looks like Eddie Hagge's able to clear Justin Zemecki coming down the back straightaway. Brendan Jackson coming into turns 3 and 4. Around. We talked to him earlier tonight. He is at the top of the boards. Brandon Jackson will be your winner at Kern County Speedway.
Right at the line, Logan Murray doors Jonathan Platt there to get the 6th position.
Yes.
What a run here. Zemecki in the 5th. Haggy gets 4th. Great job by Bob Berry. Ended up placing in 2nd. Boy, guys shuffling all over the track. What a mess. But what a race it was, though. They were able to get a hold of it here. Let's see. You want to, let's see. Who you want to interview here tonight, Nolan?
Let's. I want to talk to Logan here before we talk to our podium finishers.
All right.
Because that wreck, that double wreck going into turn 1, I got to get his opinion on this.
All right, go ahead and grab him there, brother.
Do I have that permission?
No, but I do. There you go.
I do not have those perms. Logan Murray, it is Nolan Gross and Patrick up in the booth. You got us?
I got you.
So, reason why you're up here is because we saw you avoid that wreck going into turn 1 on those last restarts. What was going through your head as you just saw the first wreck in the back and then you saw the 84 sideways in front of you at the same time?
Are we talking about that last lap from like 5 to go?
I believe so.
A lot of things I can't say on TV.
You know what? Fair enough. Logan Murray coming away with a 6th place finish after absolutely sending his teammate into the air on the back straightaway.
I could not see him. In my defense, I could not see him at all. Black car paved with a black wall. I saw the blue number as I was going into him. I could not see him.
You're all good, Logan Murray. Great run tonight. Great finish. Let's see if he can continue this on into next week. Thank you, Logan.
Thank you.
All right, Logan Murray, what a race that was. But Matt Crockett able to come out on top. Dude, Matt, have we ever talked in a podium position?
No, sir.
Dude, tonight's your night. Talk to me about this race. It started messy, and we were able to fight our way up to the front. How did it feel?
Honestly, it felt like pretty good. It could roll the bottom, roll the middle, and it felt good.
Caution started rolling out after a while. How nervous were you about getting caught up in any of them out there here in the second half?
Oh, there was a few OMG moments. You know, I had to cut left and miss a few people, and luckily my avoidance skills took over. And yeah, that was a little scary moments. Almost asked for somebody to DoorDash me some underoos, but yeah.
All right, we took a look even from kind of around the area you were racing, and the Kevin Foster, David Lakey wreck that was in the front had to be probably one of the most nerve-wracking moments here in this second half that may have taken out your race. I mean, it grabbed a couple of other guys and kind of took their race and threw it out the window. Pretty rough out there. You know, how do you kind of, you know, take a race like this? We come into a podium position, we finish it. You know, it's going to be a little bit before we end up in the next race. I mean, you able to shake these off and maybe possibly come back in another podium position next time we're back on the track?
I can almost guarantee you probably not. I'm just not that good at iRacing. I've been doing it for a while. I'm still not that good. I'm still learning. I mean, Platt was on a controller tonight. I mean, he should have been up there, and I should have been maybe top 5, top 10.
Regardless, man, take the wins when you can get them. I believe next time we are on the track is Oswego Speedway. Boy, 150 laps there. How confident is the normally the In-N-Out Burger or the Liquid Death Machine going to do out there?
I have no idea. I don't even remember the last time I've been on the track.
I know. Normally I thought Oswego was always dirt, but I could be wrong. All right. Well, Matt Crockett, your first time, buddy. Go ahead and give me your shout-outs.
Thank you guys for up in the booth. Thank you for what you do. The admins here at BRL, thank you for what y'all do. And want to give a shout out to my family, my parents. My son actually helped run a few practice laps for me because I just had surgery this week on my hand, so I've been running this race mostly one-handed. So yeah, in and out. West Coast had to go in and out. California And Liquid Death, go check out Amazon.com, search Liquid Death. They actually have new energy drinks and low-calorie soda, kind of sparkling water soda substitutes that are better for you. So check them out, Amazon. Thank you guys again.
Beautiful. All right, Matt Crockett, congratulations, man. Glad to see you here in the podium position, and we'll be rooting for you, man. I'd like to see that 15 back up front again.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep. All right, that's going to do it for Matt Crockett. I'm going to grab a hold of Bob Berry. All right, in the 75, places in second tonight. Bob, what a run here.
Yeah, thank you. Honestly, it was quite a shock. As you probably know, before the race, my wheel wasn't even being recognized, so I wasn't even sure I was going to be able to race.
Was it the wheel or was it the pedals?
It was both. iRacing wasn't picking up anything from Sim Magic, so I was a little concerned.
Yeah, well, there's no sim magic there, but I guess something happened. You weren't up front most of the night here, Bob. We definitely had a solid qualifying position in the second row, but you marched back, but somehow you found your way back to the front. Talk to me about how you got your way up there.
Yeah, I mean, from the drop of the green, I kind of went for it early, so I jumped out to second. I made a mistake on the restart that cycled me back to fifth or sixth, and then I just kind of was trying to save tire and hold there. After the break, kind of the same thing, was running fifth, sixth, just kind of waiting it out. And then we got that late caution, took the holes as I saw them. And man, that last caution, if that didn't come out, that was going to be an interesting run down the backstretch with me and Brandon going for the lead, potentially 3 wide going into 3. So.
Yeah, and there was even some tangle up back there, and I even talked to Matt about it, about how the Kevin Foster, David Lakey wreck happened out there. I mean, I think the seas parted just right for a lot of those drivers back there.
Yeah, I mean, that was right in front of me. I got just around it, picked up a few incident points for the hit as David was spinning, but was able to come out of that in second, and that's pretty much where she stayed after that. So it was a great run.
All right, I hope you can get all your equipment squared away. I've been in those woes myself. I'm sure Nolan has as well, man. Everything's going well until about 10 minutes before race time, and everything falls to pieces. But we end up at Oswego Speedway all the way out in April 8th. So, confidence level heading there after a solid top podium position finish.
Honestly, I feel pretty good about Oswego. I'm very familiar with the track. I've actually raced up there in real life as well, so looking forward to that one. It's been circled on my calendar for a while.
Beautiful. All right, Bob, shout out time, brother.
Honestly, just want to give a shout out to Kevin Foster and Bill continuing to put this league together and keep us running. You guys for putting a great broadcast together for us every week. Really appreciate everything that you guys do for us. Like I said, just really looking forward to the next couple of weeks and see where we can pull this thing out.
All right, Bob. Good luck to you out there, buddy. Congratulations on the finish. And we'll see you. I got a feeling we'll be talking again here in the next few weeks.
I hope so. I think I figured something out with the settings on this Sim Magic too. So.
Attaboy. I'm hoping that an upgrade and all your hardware there. This is getting ready to. I think we'll see a good turnout here from the 75. Congratulations, buddy, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate you.
Not a problem. All righty, everybody, and that's going to do it here with Bob Berry. Boy, what a race he had here. And that means Nolan Gross catches up with our race winner here tonight with Brandon Jackson.
Brandon Jackson, you came out on top. We interviewed you before the race start. How are you feeling today, brother?
I fucking lie. I just put a good old boat to. I ain't gonna say that part, but oh yeah, man, I feel ecstatic. Man, I feel great. It was a good fun race, man. Me and Curtis, I think we put on a pretty good show for most of the race, and then got a little worried there with these late race yellows, but we were able to pull it off, and I think I ran the fastest lap of the race coming to the checkered. So I don't know how I did it, but I done did it finally. I ain't second place no more.
You ain't second place no more. Great run by Brandon Jackson. Honestly, perfect race situation for you. How do you feel? Just obviously, you said you and Curtis raced pretty well, but during that race, how did you feel in that long run? It looked like you were able to pick him off after about 20 laps each time. So how do you think you were able to get around him and kind of hold him there?
Man, I honestly just think I was just able to just save the right rear. Saving the right rear mattered a lot. You didn't want to put too much heat in it. the more heat you put into it, the more it was hard to drive off the corner. So I pretty much just sat there and just trying to antagonize him for a good about 20, 30 laps. And I started to see his right rear just kind of skirt out a little bit out of 4 especially. So I was like, okay, I'm just getting a little bit closer every couple laps. And then finally was able to get the drive off. I forgot what corner it was. I was able to get the good drive off I needed with the right rear, and I just throw my nose in there, and I was somehow, after like, I want to say it took like 5 laps to get clear, but I had to work for it. But it was a good run. I don't know what happened to him towards the end. I know he pitted for tires. I don't know why he did that, but it was a good gamble. It may have worked, honestly. I don't know if Bob or Matt had took tires, but if they did, it would have been a great gamble for him. But I don't know. In the end, it was a great race. Put on a good show. We had a few yellows, but I don't think too many. I got hiccups. I'm sorry. I'm so happy.
You're all good.
But yeah, we put on a good show, man. I was up front all race and was just trying to let the car come to me. We never brought this car out here to this track, so it was kind of a learning experience, and I think I like it.
Think you like it. All right, Brandon Jackson, is there anyone you want to thank here tonight?
No, I don't have any fans out here. I hate it. No, appreciate everybody watching the race. All the guys behind the scenes put on a good show. Sorry that I'm a part-timer. I got to make every other race. I hate it. We just don't have the budget to keep traveling. We're on the West Coast, so now we gotta eat ramen for like the next 3 months. But after that, I don't know where we're at in 2 weeks when I come back. But I put on a darn good show, and Patrick, appreciate you bringing on. No, it's been kind of rough lately, but we got enough cars out here to put on a decent show tonight.
Beautiful. Yep. And we will see you at Oswego Speedway, buddy, because next week we are off. We can't have fools like you coming around.
No. That they told me I'm part-time, and I said, yes, sir, we ain't got the budget for it.
Aye, Captain. All right, Brandon, congratulations, man. Glad to see you finally get a win here this season, especially for part-time. So awesome job there. We'll see Axel Jackson back in it, buddy.
Can't wait to see y'all. See ya.
All right, everybody, that's going to do it there for Brandon Jackson. As you can see, he's doing the last of his burnouts here before we get ready to sign on off. That's going to do it. Brandon Jackson, Bob Berry, and Matt Crockett, 1, 2, and 3. Eddie Hagge ended up in 4th. Justin Zemecki, Logan Murray for 5th and 6th. Jonathan Platt on a controller in 7th. Bill Harkins up to 8th. Not bad there for a 6th position gain. Jason Greenwell, qualified 9th, ended 9th. Not bad. And Kevin Foster, unfortunately, rounding out our top 10 after starting in 5th. Tough race here tonight. Everybody side by side and a lot of duking it out. But, guys, I will have the stream up here for you in the next week or so. We will be off next week for everybody to hopefully, for God's sakes, get this hardware situation under control, especially for a lot of our top drivers. Nolan Gross, anything left to add?
Nothing left to add. Ladies and gentlemen, we all here from Simtrax Broadcasting hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Enjoy your Easter next week, and have a good one.
Yep. All right. Be well, be safe, be kind. We'll see all you guys next time.